Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom, Kalkala, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, Rakal Kadash, I want to send double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you brothers out there pushing word in sincerity and truth. This is Brother Ariala. This is going to be a World War algorithm update. Just a brief update. We are in the works of putting together a major World War III algorithm. Me and the brother Require Kwam from London. Our time slots just did not match up for today's live algorithm, so it is being postponed. There's so much going on in the news right now that we've been gathering, so I wanted to just come and put a few things out, talk about a couple of things that's going to lead into the larger algorithm that we're going to put together and put on wax. We're going to go live. We'll be announcing it. I highly suggest you brothers come on and just join in. There's so much different news. It's going to be a platform for all of us to sit and talk and really talk about these things, how it relates to the scriptures and the prophecies and the mentality and mindset of moving forward into the next year. Okay, we know we got Hanukkah coming up for us. It's coming up, and so I definitely encourage Akim to make sure that they are putting their minds right and getting in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the spirit of charity amongst the brotherhood, making sure that you are being a loyal member of this body and making sure that you are also being fiercely independent in your own walk towards salvation, and that you're taking personal responsibility for your relationship in the spirit amongst this whole body. Now, with all that being said, this World War III algorithm is going to be touching on what's happening down at the southern border between Texas and Mexico. I want to touch on this because this seems like it might have larger implications towards some other things that are happening geopolitically. I want to play a couple of clips, read a few articles, and then read in the scriptures how this relates to something that may be brewing for us to watch out. We know the scripture says that there's rumors upon rumors, and that we have been set up to be watchmen unto the nation for those who are sincerely listening. So, with no further ado, I'm gonna play this clip. We're gonna read a few scriptures and maybe a couple of articles, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go, champ.
Live. Boy, we got some mess going on, guys. Right now, you're looking on your screen here. This here is just a little short clip of a video footage that's being looped over and over and over. But as far as the eye can see, these are people from Honduras that are being given passage through Mexico, coming up to the U.S. border. Now, what was interesting is that in one particular clip, Fox News commentator that was down there said that the majority of the migrants that are coming up are male. And it is strongly reminiscent of what happened in Europe. And of course, the situation in Europe is still far from being contained, and what will actually happen out of that as a result. It seems to me to be a destabilization plan to totally bring down the United States as they're trying to destroy Western Europe. You don't see it as much in Eastern Europe because Eastern Europe has already been under communism once before, so there's still that mentality of communism in Eastern Europe. That people can still adjust to a socialistic lifestyle, but Western Europe is more democratic, just as the United States is. And so to crush that, one easy way is to bring in the refugees, especially mostly male refugees. There are some families, but not a lot.
So what they're saying is there's a global socialist agenda, meaning what the elites want to do is basically that they're calling it socialism because that's just a buzz term that they can connect easily with terrorism. And that lets me know that these people here are part of the whole problem too, because they are sunken into the terminology and the wordplay that the elites put out there. So, but basically, what is this mark of the beast system? A system of regulating, watching, and integrating everybody into one unified system, a universal system. and that by placing refugees at the border and crossing people into America indiscriminately will force basically the public to have to accept a doctrine that says, okay, how are we going to monitor, track, and take care of all these people? How are we going to be able to protect ourselves unless something happens? You know, when we're looking at this, what's happening, it does seem like it can usher in something for Trump and or the West to say, okay, these people will need to be chipped or monitored. You know what I'm saying? So when we look into these things, we know that there's an article that came out, brother out there, Kazak from Mississippi had put this article out a couple of years ago. And we see that it takes time for things to come along. This was real news right now, back in 2015. Remember, this had came out. And I'd like to highlight the fact is the article reads, Trump, we need a final solution to the immigration problem, November 13th. 2015, and we're almost 3 years out from that time. It says Trump's plan includes a revolutionary method for locating and tracking individuals who have been or are scheduled to be deported from the United States. Specialists will implant a tiny radio frequency identification chip into the upper right arm of every individual who passes through one of these relocation centers. Trump said, continue, this allows us to track their movements virtually anywhere in the world in real time. Apart from the economy, immigration is seen as one of the biggest issues facing the stability of the country. Okay, and so this is something that was said back then, but how much more now with the threat of all these immigrants flooding in is it going to be used now? Okay, and so I want to listen to this clip right here by WW3, and it's going to bring some more things, into a clearer view. Okay,
President Trump is labeling a national emergency, so it has to be a pretty big deal, right? If something is labeled a national emergency, it has to affect us in a serious way. What he's talking about is our southern border again here, and we have an influx of individuals, caravans, making their way toward the southern border. This is reminiscent of years ago when Biden had went down there and made a speech and had stated, if any parent has a child that's in the United States, if they're at the border and they state that their child is in there and they need to get them, then they would let them in to do so. That's how it was perceived. All of a sudden, there were caravans heading toward the border. They were on trains and everything else. Now, we have a similar situation where these caravans are coming up and they're saying that certain countries are doing nothing to stop it. Trump is pointing the finger at Honduras and Guatemala, saying that he is cutting off aid to those countries because they failed to stop this influx of what Trump is calling, let's look at it word for word, criminals and unknown Middle Easterns are mixed in. This is what he is saying. What criminal Middle Easterns are mixed in, or criminals and Middle Easterns? Anybody wonder who that could be? What kind of intel do you have there? Images, video, anything else to go with this to talk and show any proof and evidence of these Middle Easterns you're talking about? You know what this is starting to be reminiscent of? So this is the situation. You can see he goes on and on here in the tweets. You guys can pause it and go back and read, or I'll leave a link below and you guys can go and check it out for yourselves. But a lot of emphasis being put on this because as of Sunday, they're saying these individuals busted past the Mexican border. They were temporarily delayed, but they made it through. That the border guards failed to force the migrants to turn back.
All right, so they're saying these crowds are so huge that these migrants are getting through and that Middle Easterners are maybe mixed into the crowds. This is on the backdrop of all these globalists like George Soros, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, this whole CNN department, all these people getting these ominous bomb packages with ISIS flags on them. So they're already trying to put the propaganda piece in that, mysterious Middle Easterners are mixed in with these immigrant crowds that are marching towards the border at the United States. So what happens, just hypothetically, if these people get to the border, people get through the border, everybody's not being able to get contained, riots bust out like the scriptures say. I'm going to bring that out here in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And the 14th verse, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for the great tribulation." And so, basically, we're seeing these people burst across different border countries, potentially going against the United States government and heading towards the United States border. So if these people are able to infiltrate, get into America, and then bombs start going off saying, "Oh, okay, because of this, we have had an infiltration of terrorists. We don't know who's who." We got to be able to identify everyone and monitor the whole situation to protect American lives. Then they're definitely going to want to institute that chip and implant people. This is just a, possibility. We know these things are said to happen. The prophecies say they are. Right? This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 9. "Publish in the palaces of Ashdod and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, Assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumults in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof. For they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces." Okay? "Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, an adversary there shall be even round about the land, and he shall bring down thy strength from thee, and thy palaces shall be spoiled." So the Most High has got, these are those modern day palaces and stronghold cities today around America, around the West. Okay? So I was reading, I'm gonna let Dabu finish what he was gonna say, then I'm gonna read this article.
So they're regrouping in Mexico. The next border is our own. So where are they going en masse like this? Where's their target destination? Anybody care? Anybody have any opinions? I know some of you out there are like, what is going on here with this? But I know others out there are just going to turn a cheek to it. Well, I think we need to pay attention to what's happening. This orchestration at our southern border. There's always more to it than what meets the eye. I'm going to leave links below. I'm going to continue to elaborate on this as things change. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well for the latest updates. Much love, y'all.
You better wake up.
We have new reports of a second migrant caravan that is gathering in Guatemala. They're saying that the second caravan is forming at the Honduran border, that it's expected to follow the larger caravan of more than 7,000 from Central America towards the U.S.-Mexico border. And they're saying the remaining migrants in the first group are about 1,100 miles from the border town of Reynosa, which is across from McAllen, Texas. Now, why they picked this spot, I'm not sure. Is this the closest? Do they have other information? Lots of people are wondering, okay, exactly where are they going? Where do they think that they're going to go and get through at? Is it just me, or is there something not right in the atmosphere right now?
Mm-hmm.
With everything going on, with all these packages getting intercepted, with all these caravans heading up to the border right before midterms, I don't know. Figured I'd just throw that out there. Because the stuff has this feel to it that people are going to have to start to understand it's connected to other things, as we've talked about time and time and time again.
It's an algorithm. It's this piece and that piece and that piece and this piece all coming together within an equation. But instead of people thinking that this is, the equation for the elite, this is the determination of the Heavenly Father, man. Dust is about to get kicked up in this place in a way that people don't understand. And we here at Great Millstone, all through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, are here and warning you. We're warning you that it's time for you to make sure that you're putting your spiritual armor on. That more than guns, more than food, more than money, more than anything of value that you can see in your life that you need spiritual revenue. Because that is what is going to protect you ultimately. And whether you believe it or not, the faithful will hear this message. All these things are happening. We're reading about different tumults in the scriptures. Like here in Zechariah 14:13, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and the hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor." How much more so are these things set to befall this current world structure that we see, man? This current world structure that we see is set to receive these tumults. Okay? Now we look this word up, tumult, in Strong's H4103, Ramah, tumult, confusion, disquietude, discomfiture, destruction, trouble, vex, okay? Disturbance. That's what's getting ready to be prepared for the streets. All right? That's what we see, man. We're seeing tumults being prepared all across the world. I'm just highlighting in this algorithm this caravan of people that are marching, Now, here's an article that just came out today, I believe. Yep, October 25th. Here on express.co, the UK, it says Donald Trump to send 800 troops to the Mexico border. Deployment approved today. Donald Trump is sending 800 troops to the Mexico border to help Homeland Security and the National Guard as a caravan from Honduras with thousands of immigrants move north. A U.S. official told Fox News the hundreds of soldiers are being sent to the area to offer logistical support, including providing tents and vehicles. Defense Secretary James Mattis possibly signing deployment orders today. Currently, there are 2,100 National Guard troops on the southern border assisting Homeland Security. On Thursday, the U.S. President tweeted, "Brandon Judd of the National Border Patrol Council is right when he says on Fox and Friends that the Democrat-inspired laws make it tough for us to stop people at the border. Must be changed by him bringing out the military for this national emergency. They will be stopped." Okay? So, we're going to see. We're going to see, man. Trump said he was going to send some people. And we're going to see, where it goes from there. But that's breaking news. This situation is man, we got more breaking news. U.S. on alert. House of Representatives office building evacuated. So more of these packages are popping up. They're definitely building things up, man. All right, New York pipe bomb sent to CNN has ISIS parody flag reading "Get her done." See? There's a setup going on, man, with the nationalists versus the globalists, So these are things that we're going to be touching on in the algorithm. Whenever I can link up with the brother, we're going to be touching on all these things. We're going to be going into a tremendous amount of articles that I have pulled up, videos that I've been pulling up. We're going to be touching on the situation with this Saudi journalist that was killed over in Turkey. and possible implications that could be having geopolitically. We're going to touch on the current economic downturn and the volatility in the markets and some of the implications that can have. We're going to talk about the situation with the Iranian sanctions that are set to come up on November 4th and some of the political and economic issues that can present, not only with the U.S. and the East as far as Iran, but with the U.S. and Europe. All right. All these things are circulating within the news. I could go for literally hours, and I would like to just take a couple of hours to talk about these things live with you, Akiam. But so much stuff has happened. I wanted to do an update video. I'm gonna click on this and see what it says. It says U.S. on alert. House of Representatives office building evacuated. The House of Representatives Cannon office in Washington was evacuated with no reason given so far. It comes after bombs were posted to ex-President Barack Obama and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, as well as CNN's New York offices. Washington has been on high alert following the string of explosive attacks on Wednesday. It says homemade pipe bombs were posted to Obama, Clinton, George Soros, CNN, Robert De Niro. It says 2 such suspect packages were also posted to former Vice President Joe Biden. Another suspected explosive device was found at the office of Florida Rep. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. No one was hurt. All these packages, nobody got hurt. So, it's a convenient thing, which is interesting to me. So, tons and tons of things in the news right now, man. So, we're gonna see where this stuff leads. But hey, man, my last message I want to read for you guys is this. Romans chapter 13, verse 11 says, "And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." Right now is the time, man. Right now is time for those of you that have been watching and just sitting in the background and with your hands in your pockets. Now is the time for those of you who are just looking to take hold of your salvation, man. Okay? Because this whole thing that's going on the internet, where you're just able to feed and get information, and you ask questions and basically not contribute a damn thing. You just here staring and watching everybody else do the work and push. Meanwhile, you say you agree or you believe, but you just looking. The window for grace is closing, and I've been noticing more and more Archeam do sit downs on Noah's Ark. You don't want to be on the outside when that door closes, and nobody can make you care. There should be a quickening happening in your spirit to get involved, to contribute, to aid in this ministry, and to push for the glory of Yahweh Shai to come upon the planet Earth, man. With that, man, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I want to send double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you true brothers out there pushing this word in sincerity. Shalom.